When you give away a penalty in extra time, the opposition kick a goal to win the game, and you have to go back to the angriest coach in the NRL's history. You know it's time to look at LOYG. Yes, hello. What's the go? Look at LOYG. Stu here. Dave there.
Hello there.
Ben again.
Hello, gentlemen.
Ooh, how are the rugby league feelings?
My love for rugby league's been rejuvenated.
Yeah.
That weekend of footy was magic.
Magic round, yes, very good. We're not going to talk about any news. I don't know that anything amazing's happened this week, has it really?
Not really.
What we are going to talk about, though, in a little bit, is our predicted State of Origin sides, because obviously we're the opinions that matter here. So we're going to go through the round that was briefly and get into our State of Origin sides. I wonder how close we are to each other. That'll be interesting, won't it?
Well.
All right. Sorry, I had a weird day if you can't tell from my manic presentation style.
It's absolutely fine by me, Stu. Carry on.
Call me a dead carcass. No? Carry on.
I won't call you that.
Carry on? No. Okay. All right. Let's go through Magic Round. And are we actually, here's a thing, are we actually ever going to get to a Magic Round, fellas? That seems like something we should do.
I went to the first one, and it was the closest feeling to being at 2000 Sydney Olympics that I've had. Oh, okay. But it was even better in some ways because it was all league.
Interesting.
Would have been closer to Expo 88, surely.
Well, I did go to Expo 88, so I can tell you about that.
Wow. Yeah. All right, we'll scrap the Origin teams. Let's hear about Expo 88. No. Yeah, I assume we'll get a sponsor between now and next Magic Round who'll send us up there.
Absolutely. These are the opinions that matter.
What about the first game? Sharkies and Para.
How was that to watch as Sharks fans, guys?
Yeah, not too bad. I was pessimistic, as we know,
yeah.
But I think the most fun thing was Trindle and Moses ripping into each other. Moses having a go at his hairline. That's a bit low.
Indeed.
No, it was a bit high. That's the problem.
Oh,
well, look, I think the best thing about that game was the lines that, again, Nicola was running.
Lines.
And also KL Iro back. Yeah. And good. Again. Yeah. Incredible.
Yes. We've been hot and cold on Nico, as Nico himself has been hot and cold. But
I told you I had a feeling he'd be back for this round.
That's right. And
I think he was.
And when you've got someone running lines like Nicola, for example, the angle and the speed that he runs it, it's very easy to stuff those passes up.
Oh, yeah.
Very easy. And he rarely does.
It seems like when I make a statement of fact or like Wiggo fact, the next round, whomever I am, because I'd made a comment around, being more confident with Trindle having the ball, and that flipped on its head. I thought Nico was outstanding, and especially in defence. He was
stoic.
Yeah, and first down, like chasing, like making a bajillion tackles, the first in chaser on kicks.
Off his own kicks sometimes, though, which is like a real effort.
And just play, like his ball play was awesome, and he ran the ball a bit more, which is lovely to see.
Do you think this skill of yours translates over to coaches? For example, could you bag Fitzgibbon out a little bit and he might actually look at making a couple of changes we might need?
Look, I can give it a go. Can I come back next week? I'll come back next week with a coach bagging section, and we'll see it's the week after that.
Let me just say this. I know it's a bit stupid me making a point of this when we won, But I'm going to say again, why is Brayley playing 80 minutes when we've got Jaden Barrell sitting in reserve grade?
Yeah.
And why is Atkinson on our bench?
And even McInnes can play. Obviously, can play hooker as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe he's going for the tackling record.
The idea that, okay, he can play 80 minutes, it's good that he can. Can we not force him to every week? Like, we talk about how good he is when he's running out of dummy half. Imagine how many runs he will take if he's playing 65 minutes, for example, instead of 80 every week.
That's a really good point, Stu.
Maybe if Colquhoun hadn't have been sin binned, he might not have played.
Colquhoun. He better not be in first grade again this year. Swear to God. All right, listen, our tips weren't quite where they needed to be, fellas. Ben, you and I had the Eels. Yep. You had Iro ATS, though, so you get half a mark there.
Thank you.
Dave had Sharks, but by 1, so that's in the positive side of things. And I don't have to be a Bears supporter, which was my bet if the Sharks lost.
It's after that.
I think that's a win. That's definitely a point.
Something I also noticed in that game was that Dylan Brown actually looked really good.
Yeah.
So he needs
surprising.
Mitchell Moses back to look good. So is that a package deal for the Knights?
Yeah, that doesn't augur well for next year.
Lucky he's got Cogger. All right, Finns and Roosters. Roosters coming away with the bickies there.
Roosters good.
Yep. Dave got the Roosters right. We both picked Finns, Ben.
I think that's pretty much how my tips went this weekend. I think that's that's an eye to the future.
Absolutely it is. And there is some news this week, actually. The Roosters have released Dom Young.
Is that news?
Very.
Well, it's news when you
it's
think...
information.
It's news when you kind of stack it up against Roosters spent a lot to get Brandon Smith to the club. Now can't wait to get rid of him.
Yep.
Extended Terrell May, couldn't get rid of him fast enough. Spent a lot to get Young over here. Now he's like half a dozen bad games and he's out the door. Like, what's going on?
It's like
It's bizarre.
wrote Coach Robinson, I'm not the problem, you're all the problem.
Yes. Yes. Any thoughts on the game though there, fellas?
Could have been a cricket score. The Roosters, the Dolphins fought back to keep it respectable. 10 points in margin in the end. But Roosters are starting to click more and more in attack every week, and they've still got the halfback to come back.
Stuart Sam Walker to come back. Yeah.
Well, all of this came on once they dropped Chad Townsend, so that
That's
You are correct.
That's absolutely correct. What about the Knights and the Rabbits?
Knights really turned it around.
they sure did. And can I make a comment just in regards to Bradman Best's hips? They are
Please.
well, very. I would say even if there were 4 of me, I think we would find it very difficult to tackle him if he was coming at us.
Do you mean in terms of strength and power, or kind of Latina sway?
Shape and beauty.
Yeah.
No, I would say power and just he is an absolute bullock.
Oh, are you giving us a hint about your state of origin?
I could be. I could very well be.
Well, yeah, can't argue with that. He doesn't get enough good ball though. I don't want to. I would hate to be Marju though. Like Marju's got 3/5 of no chance of getting the ball outside Bradman Best most of the time.
Well, yeah, like Marju has to make a break from 80 metres out to get a sniff of the try line. I thought he was really good. He was exceptional, running back from his own try line.
Well, yeah.
Which was
Fletcher Sharp, 3 tries as well.
Yeah, happy 21st, Fletcher.
pace.
What a way to-
Exactly.
what a-
Speaking of exceptional, Dave's tipping Knights 13 plus he had here.
Yeah.
Whereas I had Knights by 4 and Ben had Rabbits with a bloke who didn't even end up playing as your man of the match. So
yeah,
that's unfortunate.
that was good.
Oh, Whiten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, can I run? Am I close to the perfect round, Stu? Are you, of terrible tips?
No, because you got Euro ATS in the first one.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
Yeah. See, you threw out a lifesaver random tip to help you.
Yes.
Rabbits, I mean, they did the best they could with having no side.
So many players out.
Yeah. And I like how half the side's gone. Dodd's still not featuring that much.
Yeah. I don't think Wayne's a fan.
It would seem that way, wouldn't it, unfortunately for him? Cowboys Wars did pretty...
Very enjoyable game.
And our tips, fellas?
Yeah, well, how about the Warriors?
Yeah.
Round one in Vegas.
Yep.
We thought they were looking spoon-worthy, and since then, they've not given up the fight at all, and they're winning a lot more than they lose.
Yep. And just holding out the Cowboys for that amount of time. It was fantastic.
Impressive.
Now, just letting people behind the curtains a little bit here. We record this on a Tuesday night. Then I've got to just I try and take about an hour or so to edit it, release it the next morning, because I've got to move on with my life after that. So sometimes I don't pick arguments when I'm trying to get things to hurry along. But Ben, last week you were saying you were going to tip the Cowboys because of the Queensland factor.
Yes.
And I could have picked up on the fact that it's actually much further from Brisbane to Townsville than it is from Brisbane to Sydney.
And there were more Wars supporters in the stadium than any other team.
Oh, I love that. You gotta love the Wars. Does anyone not like the Wars? It's hard to, isn't it?
I don't think anyone dislikes them.
No.
Yeah. All right. What about the Tigs and the Dogs?
That try before halftime when you're on the Dragons.
Oh my God.
wasn't fun. Was not fun.
I
Yeah.
think, like, apart from the last game, I think that was the most incredible thing of the weekend. Of a weekend of some pretty cool stuff that happened.
Yeah.
But that was unreal and hilarious to watch.
Yep. And how did, just out of interest, because I didn't watch it myself, are you able to tell me how young Cole Flanagan went as opposed to the Drop Dilius?
Yeah. He went really well. No.
Did he, Dave?
No.
I'm not good. I honestly didn't watch it. I've got to take your word for this.
No, I mean, he's not the reason they lost, but he didn't add anything to the team.
Right. Was I right about it being the age of Dewey?
Yeah,
It had a bit of Dewey about it.
The thing that was most interesting, other than that crazy sewer knock on as he was trying to score, was in the post match, Benji talked for 5 minutes about how disappointing it was for the team to play at that standard,
Right.
and they scored 34 points. So they've really picked up a few levels on the last couple of years. They look great, the Tigers.
We're more than a third through the season and they're in 8th spot.
Yeah.
Given how tight the competition is, that's really great. Titans and Dogs. Sensible people tip Dogs. I tipped the Titans 1 to 12. Look, was I to know that? Like, we knew that Fafita wasn't playing, but did we know that there was this kind of internal bust up going on that we've heard about since? No. When's Foreign back?
Great question.
Bloody hell. Like, all power to poor man's Kenny Powers, Tom Weaver, but he's...
I have a question. How old is he?
Well, he looks 14 and his perm looks 38.
Yes. Right. That is exactly right, Stu. He could be on either end of the spectrum, age-wise.
Yeah, all right. I don't think there's much to say. Titans were awful. Again, I don't know where to pinpoint the defensive problems.
Because it's the whole team.
But you've got players you've got good players there.
Both Furmore.
He's
Tino.
actually, funny you joke about that, but he's actually their best player at the moment.
Yeah, he is.
And he's the one that's playing left back row where Fafita should be. So
Yeah. All right. Let's get off the Titans. They hurt me so much.
But Dogs outright first.
Yep.
Only lost one game this year.
Broncos and Panthers. What about this game?
Four.
Any interest in this?
Yeah, a little.
A little. Yeah.
A little.
What happened to the Broncos? They're at home. They were on a roll from the week before. Or was it nothing the Broncos could do about a resurgent Panthers? Was that the story of the game?
First 20 minutes, the Broncos were really good. They were on a roll. They were maintaining pressure on the Panthers line, but the Panthers turned them back for the most part, except for a try to Ben Hunt, which, the goalpost helped defensively with. And after that, at some point, Nathan Cleary kicked a magnificent 40-20 and then scored a try. And both of those things were straight out of the grand final from a couple of years ago. And I think the demons got in the Broncos' head after that, and they played the same as they did at the end of the grand final.
Yeah, someone posted up a side-by-side comparison.
It was freaky.
It was amazing looking.
Freaky how close it was.
Yeah. Anyway, you didn't get to run past Walsh this time, though, unfortunately.
No, unfortunately not. But in my eyes, that's always how he's going to score tries.
Someone in the commentary was saying how Cleary had a dream the night before.
Yeah.
About
Patea.
scoring a try in the same way that he had done in the grand final.
Okay.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah, he was mashed potato by the end of it.
One more thing in that game that I noticed, that when the roll-on had started and Panthers were starting to run away with it, the camera zoomed in on the Bronco bench.
Yes, it did.
And went on the big screen at the ground, and Ezra Mann was zoomed in on. And you'd probably think that the crowd would be mostly Broncos fans. It was a pretty resounding boo.
I have a theory that it's probably one of the weekends the Broncos fans don't go to that much, would it? Because they'd be
maybe
inundated by other fans, and they can go any other time of the season.
Yeah, maybe.
Makes sense.
But he didn't look comfortable.
No, good. I'm glad that happened, to be honest. We all picked Broncos, so let's move on.
Okay.
Happy to get that one wrong.
Hang on. Yeah, exactly. But here we are. We finished strong. We all tipped Raiders.
Interesting.
I don't know how we managed that, but we did. We must have assumed that they were ripe for some brain snaps, the old Stormiers.
Harry Grant factor. You called it last week, Stu. They're just not the same.
No. As nice as garlic is, it's just not going to have a substitute, I'm afraid.
What about the last 10 minutes of that game, though?
Crazy.
Oh, yeah. Amazing.
Great try. Really, he was good all game as well.
KO Weeks.
Yeah, Weeksy.
Yeah.
Weeksy. All right. Well, I think we've got to move on to our State of Origin teams if we want to hope of getting it all out in time.
Stu, I'd just like to make one point, if I may. As we were in contact over the weekend, I did say that at the 68-minute mark in the Sharks-Eels game that the ground was going to be in a right mess.
Yeah.
And with the amount of rain that they had over the weekend, I think it stood up incredibly well.
Well, all the new turf did.
Yeah.
Wherever it wasn't was just slop.
Yeah. I agree with that. It'd be much better than thought, but it looked like patchy as in the first game.
Yeah, it looked pretty ordinary in the first game.
The 10 metre to in goal at each end of the field was just a mess.
Yeah.
I think that might have even helped Penrith in their game against the Broncos, because when they were on that roll for 20 minutes, they couldn't get any traction because they kept slipping in the mud.
Yeah, literal traction.
Yeah.
And figurative traction.
Indeed.
All right. Is everyone ready to display their selecting mastery?
Yeah, what I'd like to do just really quickly first is I want to read out a team to you, and then I want you to... Let me just read out this team real quick.
Okay.
It's a Blues team. It's got Dylan Edwards at fullback, Pappenhausen and Carraz on the wings, Bradman, Best and Lomax in the centres, Jerome Luai and Nico Hines in the halves, then a forward pack with Reece Robson, Safidi, Junior Paulo at prop, Kalua Matangi and Preston on the edges with McInnes at lock, and then a bench with Matt Burton, Spencer Leniu, Udakamanu and Tyson Frizzell. Do you know what's crazy about that team?
They're all suspended at some point this year.
No, none of them made my team.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That is a full 1-17 that would be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, be pretty good, like a pretty good side. I think there's a couple of
good
names
side.
in there that have made my team.
Let's go through Queensland first because, you save dessert, the best for last, right? Ben, your Queensland fullback.
Ponga.
Dave,
Ponga.
Stu, Ponga. Yeah, we're all across the board Ponga here. I guess that means we're smart fellas. Number 2 on the wing.
Cobbo.
Yeah. Well, let's do both wingers, eh?
Yep.
So we don't get
And Coates.
Yep.
I changed Cobbo and Coates to Tulungi and Coates.
Right.
Okay.
I thought Cobbo was their best player on
He was.
Sunday.
Yes. I've got Coates and Cobbo as well. Tulungi, I don't think he's necessarily started the year that well, but I might be holding that against him too much. Centres?
Val and the Hammer.
Yeah.
Exactly the same as me.
Same as me. I don't know that there's many other options other than putting Cobbo in there for Tulungi on the wing, maybe.
Unless you bring Dane Gagai back.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Or Brenko Lee.
Whoa. What about
Even though
Vance
2020 hero.
Topare?
Oh, well, he's carving up in rugby. Did you
Yeah.
see his run down his try down the sideline? Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
talk about Bradman Best not wanting to tackle him.
Yes.
I don't want to take him either.
Yes.
All right, this is where it might get interesting. 6, Ben.
Look, I really like Tom Dearden. I think he's excellent at playing rugby league, but there's no way they can't pick Munster.
Agreed.
All right, so you're Munster as well, Dave?
Yep.
I'm Dearden.
Yes. Oh. So Munster. Okay. Well, we'll carry on.
Carry on. Don't ask questions yet. Yes. All right, number 7.
DCE.
DCE.
That's all of us across the board, DCE. You can't ignore the experience plus game management and kicking.
Game management.
All right, what about your props, fellas?
Carrigan. And probably because Lindsay Collins is out.
Yep.
Oh.
I would say, to be perfectly honest,
Spit it out, brother.
Ruben Cotter.
Yeah.
Cotter, okay. So Carrigan and Cotter.
Yep.
Gotcha.
I've got Tino and Cotter.
Oh, okay. Well, I've got Tino and Carrigan. So now we're starting to get a little bit of. I mean, we might just all have the same people in different positions. It might end up
Yeah,
being.
because I've got Carrigan at lock. So.
Oh, okay. Spoilers. Jesus Christ. All right. Okay. Hooker.
Harold.
Yeah.
How far out is he?
Yeah. That's the worry, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't it be a shame if he... Anyway, yeah.
I've picked assuming that he's playing,
Yep.
but I haven't picked him as my starting 9.
Wow. Who have you picked as your 9, Stu?
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Max Plath.
No. Wow. He's very good.
Interesting.
Now, there's a reason for
But
that.
to usurp Harry.
He's not usurping him. He's doing the first 20 minutes, getting through all the tough stuff up top. Harry Grant comes on after 20 minutes, plays the next 60, and he's fresher than an 80-minute, having to play 80 minutes of Origin.
Right.
Plath, after that, can slot in anywhere else in the forwards or go back to the bench until he's needed.
Makes sense.
That's my thinking.
Yeah, he's a very good utility value.
Yeah.
Plath.
In much the same way as we were discussing about Robson, etc. before. Or was that before we started recording? Maybe I should shut up.
Can I make a quick change?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, of course you can, mate. Go on.
I'm going to take Ruben Cotter
Out to dinner.
out of the front row and bring in Big Red Nut, Corey Horsburgh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And,
Welcome.
yep,
And then you can welcome back Cotter.
correct.
All right. Second rowers.
My mate, Beau Fermor,
Oh.
I think he needs a run. And I'll put Ruben Cotter in the second row.
All right. Wow.
I just think he's a nutbag. So
Yeah, okay.
I got Firmer and Nanai.
I've got Nanai and Gilbert. And to be honest, I didn't really think of Fermor. I should have, but I didn't. Anyway, lock, fellas.
Tino,
Okay.
And Big Pat.
You've got
So
Pat.
we've just
I've
got
got
them in different positions.
Yeah, I got Cotter. So as lock. So there you go. And then may as well run through your 14 to 17.
okay. Dearden, Gilbert, Nanai, Fodawaker.
Right. Dave?
Yeah, very similar. Dearden, Sewer, Arrow, and Horsburgh.
All right.
Sewer.
I couldn't pick Sewer after dropping the ball over the line last week. That rules him out of Origin.
He's got the runs on the board in Origin, though.
Yeah. Well, he gave lots of people the runs dropping it over the line. I can tell you that much.
Sure did.
14. My 14's Grant, obviously, because he's good, and you're not starting. 15 Horsburgh, 16 Fodawaker, 17 Munster.
Crazy. What?
So tell me if you need, apart from if Reece Walsh was fit, so if he was fit, it would be a toss-up between Walsh or Munster there for me.
Nah. Oh, what? Welsh on the bench?
Yeah.
I don't think you can pick Walsh.
Think of,
Not the way he played this year. You got to pick Ponga, and Walsh can just
Yeah.
go off somewhere.
Listen to my thinking here.
In his cowboy hat.
If you're down, if that you're down and you need some points, and you want to bring on somebody who,
Can ping it to row 7.
well, no, okay, forget Walsh. He's not. I haven't picked him. It's Munster.
Okay.
But you want someone to come on and just be unpredictable live wire. That's Munster.
Yeah.
Yeah. He can cover fullback. We can cover the halves then. And
Centre.
he's a big enough body to play in the middle. Yeah.
And my 18's Hunt. I just don't think he's been playing well enough to get a spot in 17.
No, some of the games of the Broncos he's been poor this year. He's had magic moments because he's still got all that class, but he's just
So
on the wrong side of.
So my side, Fermor is unlucky to miss out. Liero is unlucky to miss out. Tuolagi is unlucky to miss out. Yeah.
Fair.
Okay.
It's a good side.
Well, they're all good sides. It's just how you want to play as well. I think maybe we're giving away our coaching styles here. All right, New South Wales. What do we think? Who's number one? There's going to be a bit here. Number one, Ben.
William Kennedy.
Wow. Another one I didn't really consider, but the arguments are stacking up for him.
Leading the Dally M's. He's plays the same game as Dylan Edwards and he's in better form, so I can get about it. I've picked Teddy though myself.
Yeah. Well, all I would say is think about how long Dylan Edwards had to play at his level before he could knock Teddy.
True.
His
And
spot.
the reason that I chose him was I think that he's playing as well as we've ever seen him play. I was going to pick Teddy, but I thought that was boring.
Well,
So I feel like Kennedy at least deserves a shout. He has been unreal.
I'm not opposed to it at all. I didn't think of it, personally. So you got Kennedy, Dave. You've got Teddy.
I think he's in better form than the last time he played for the Blues.
You're not wrong. He's been outstanding as well.
Yeah, he's been great, but I have not selected him.
Who have you selected for you?
Just wait
Sorry.
for Ben to try and get his esophagus working again.
I'm so sorry about that.
That's all right.
But,
Did you take a sip, fella?
yeah, and it went the wrong way.
I didn't even get to my bombshell selection yet.
No, I went
Supposed
early.
to splutter before.
Early spit take.
It's Ryan Pappenhausen.
Well,
So, and the reason for that is, yes, obviously Teddy's been playing fantastically, but the New South Wales side has made a point of saying we're moving on from Teddy now. He's been a great servant many years, but I think they made the choice, even though Madge made that choice and he's no longer there, feels like something that once you've done it, shouldn't you
Continue doing
continue doing it? And Pappenhausen for me has been in like I think Teddy's fantastic. He's been playing well. I think Pappenhausen offers more in attack than
more electric.
than Teddy's
attack.
kind of jazz
Herky jerks.
running and not knowing where he's going and all that sort of stuff. I just think Paps would be a better choice for that side.
I think too in a rep side where you got all the gun players all coming together, I think Paps can probably play a better chiming in, play your role
Integrated.
sort of game. Yeah, where Teddy's whole game is give me the ball and watch me see if how many tackles I can
Yeah.
bust, even if it's across the field.
Yes. And Dylan Edwards, obviously, he's been an elite player for so long. I just think his form hasn't been where it needs to be this year. So I can't pick him.
he's hasn't been fit long enough.
Yeah. So there you go. We got 3 different fullbacks here, guys.
Great start.
Wingers.
So, as long as he's fit, I'll take Zach Lomax
Right.
and Mark. Oh, what? How do you say his name, Stu?
Nawaka Nitawase.
Nitawaze. That's what it is. Yeah.
You flagged that you might be thinking this. That's a big call.
Well, mate, I was so impressed with how he played on the weekend.
Yeah.
Like that finish.
I still think he's a better centre than winger, personally, but yeah, absolutely. He's playing well in either.
I'll take him. Well, no To'o. I would have picked To'o. He would have been in the side, but I'll take him. Big winger, strong, good in defence, and can finish a try.
Yeah. Well, I made this side before seeing the team list, so I thought To'o was out for longer, so I didn't pick To'o.
Yeah, I did. I picked Toto. I just think he's just way too valuable, especially with all those hard carries. And he's a good finisher as well. That whole myth about him being short and not being safe under the high ball is just that a myth. I've got Turbo Tom on the other wing too.
Yeah, okay.
He's just too much X factor to leave out.
Yeah.
Even though it's a massive risk that he could snap at any
Yes.
point.
Yeah. I have Karaz and Crichton and Stephen Crichton.
Sorry?
Yeah, you heard me. So I assumed that both To'o and Lomax were out injured though. So that's why, like, if To'o comes in for Karaz if he's fit. Lomax, I assume, is out for much longer.
Then I'll switch Lomax for To'o.
Lomax is back. They're both going to be eligible for Origin 1.
Okay. Well, I just don't think I wouldn't pick Lomax coming back this close.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Stephen Crichton, I need to get him in there somewhere. So there you go.
Sorry, Dave. Who have you picked? Who you took? To'o and Turbo. Stu, I have a question. Why did you pick the best centre in the game on the wing?
I've got him at right centre.
He was literally the first player I picked.
Because I've got Latrell Mitchell and Turbo in the centres, and I don't want to play Turbo on the wing because I don't want him to take hard carries all game because you're worried about him getting injured. That's how you get him injured.
Okay. Well, it's much of a much. I mean, if I've got Tom and Crichton in the centre and wing, it's similar.
Yeah. Oh, look, they can switch around. Maybe Turbo defends on the wing, and we get the benefit of Crichton's fantastic centre defence.
Yep.
And then switch them around in attack.
I have
Sold.
such trepidation. That's why I haven't picked Turbo in my side, because I have concerns that it's going to be 7 minutes into game one.
Yeah.
And he's going to blow a puffle valve. And I know that's a terrible way to select because he is a wonderful player.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, lucky, I assume we've all picked Watson. So lucky we've got Randy Watson in the squad who can go and play pretty much any position.
Yeah.
If that were to happen. Ben's silent.
Who are your centres, Wiggo?
I got Crichton and the hips man,
Bradman best.
Bradman best.
No laddie
So you've
mitts.
No laddie mitts.
Okay.
Yeah, I went Latrell and Crichton. The guys that you've picked that I haven't are all in that second team that I
Yep.
read out. at the
Yeah,
start.
right.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So we've got a fair bit of difference going on this New South Wales side. What about your sixes?
Dave, do you want to go first?
Sure. It was really tricky because...
Is it tricky, Trindle? That's a good
Oh,
call.
God.
Yeah. When we need a hero, one man can rise to the call.
Now his confidence is low because of the hairline stuff.
No, I've been listening to all this talk about you can't pick Mitch Moses as 6 to complement Cleary because they're both dominant. They're both going to get in each other's way. It won't work. But Mitch was a 6 for the first half of his career. I'm picking him at 6.
Yeah, he was a 6 when he was with Brooks at Tigers, wasn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah, right. I'm picking him at 6 as well. Obviously,
That kicking game just cannot be left out of the team. It's so
his
good.
return game was masterful. And on obviously Luai's would be hard done by. I just don't think he's been elite level all season.
No.
And
he's as good as he is. He doesn't offer what Mitch does in attack or in clearance kicking.
No.
Or so many
and
areas of the game.
and that game where Lockie Galvin got dropped and Luai was talking everything up, I just don't think he stood up on the field, and that has put me off him a bit to be in the Origin side.
Okay, well, I'm going to play devil's advocate here because I've picked Luai for the simple reason that he's going to play on the other side of the field, and it's left foot, right foot kicking game,
Right.
Yeah.
and
And it's bringing the band back together again.
the band is back together, baby.
And if I'd picked Luai, I probably would have picked Dylan Edwards.
Yeah.
I think that, I mean, yes, look, there's an element of bringing the band back together, but I just think Luai isn't going to be asked to do an inordinately large amount, and he's going to be able to pop up and be, I suppose, Teddy light, like being a hot stepper in and around the ruck, a couple wide, left foot kicking game, I feel is, unreal. I mean, Moses is in, I don't care which one gets picked, to be real. I just wanted to be a little bit contrarian.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Can I just interrupt here and say we're 41 minutes in?
Oh,
If we're going to finish, we need to be faster.
oh shit.
Okay.
Yes, I get that completely. I just don't think Moses can be denied. We've all got Cleary for
Spot
7.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's much argument there, despite stupid media articles I've seen. Front rowers,
Haas and May.
Haas and
Haas
May.
and me. Talk about two boppers with massive engines on them.
Yep.
I think that gives you a huge luxury on the bench of just picking impact players who you only need for 20, 25 minutes and who can go absolutely
good
filthy.
Well, yeah.
Number 9,
I got Appy.
Appy.
I got Robson. and I toyed with putting Appy on my bench, and I didn't. And can I tell you why? And you can tell me whether I'm talking any sense here.
Go for it.
I think Appy is too creative for State of Origin.
Ooh.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you at all? Like,
I know what you mean. The reason I picked him isn't to be ball playing creative. It's because he can be really quick, because you're going to get really fast play the balls with Haas and May. I think Appy gives you the best chance to continue that role.
yeah, I just get the sense that you need a bit of time with Appy to really gel well with how he hooks, and I don't think you're going to get that in a week of Origin camp.
Or Cleary and Luai, who played
Unless
with
you
him
pick
for...
all Panthers and Tigers in the team.
And look, I'll just tell you my back row, which is Yo, Martin, and Angus Crichton. So there's another 2 Panthers in there as well.
Yeah, I've got the same too.
I've got Yo and Martin, but Young starting. Hudson Young.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got Young too. I've got him on the bench.
Yep.
I
Me
just,
too.
I just put Angus Crichton on the bench thinking that he could probably play middle if you needed him to as well, maybe a bit better than Hudson Young.
Yeah, got it.
Bench.
Yep, bench, go through it.
I got Pappenhausen, Hudson Young, Connor Watson, and Spencer Leniu.
Right.
I've got Connor Watson, Hudson Young, Mitch Barnett, and Big Ola Kawachi.
Right.
Okay.
Similar thinking to what you were saying, Stu. You can have the luxury of all these impact players off the bench when you've got the
Haas and May.
potential 80-minute players in Haas, May, Crichton, and Liam Martin.
Exactly. I've got Watson, Barnett, McInnes,
Ooh.
and Angus Crichton.
Yeah.
I just think if we're ahead with 15 minutes to go, and we just need to defend our asses off, I want someone like McInnes there just to bring on and say, you just tackle your dick off. Tackle with your face, tackle with anything you got, tackle with those...
68 tackles in 15 minutes.
You just tackle. So yeah, that's my bench now. In an ideal world, I would have had Barnett and Leniu as the props coming on doing 20, 25 minutes of mental stuff. But I took Leniu off because I just get the sense that he could cost you a 2 or 3 penalties. Could cost you a game just because he's
Totally agree.
completely undisciplined and unhinged these days.
Not when you don't need.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of other mongrel and strength in the squad without
Which is a shame because he's great in Origin and would fit my side perfectly, but I can't trust him.
Fair enough.
Who do you pick? Who do we have as captain for the Blues?
Oh, Yo and Cleary can co it like they do at club.
Yep.
Yes. All right, and there you go. There are sides. I think they're sexy.
Me too.
All right. We're going to have to do one-word predictions for I'm
Yep.
afraid.
Sounds good.
We talked about whether we do it this way, but we will. Roosters have the bye this round coming up. First game at Combank, Parramatta and Dolphins.
I'm going to take the Eels.
I'm going to go the Eels as well.
Ooh, Eels. Yeah, I'm going to take Eels. They're favourites, which is a bit surprising.
That blows my mind.
Anywho's. Knights and Gold Coast at McDonald Jones. Knights are some way ahead in the odds.
I cannot, for the life of me, I can't pick the Titans, so I'm going to have to pick the Knights.
Yeah.
Me too. I can't pick Titans.
If it was up there, I would have picked
Yep.
it. But at Newcastle, I'm definitely picking
Absolutely.
the Knights.
And just knowing that there's weird drama going on behind the scenes at the Titans.
Yeah, there's something big brewing.
I can't pick them. South and Broncos at Accor.
Broncos 19 plus.
Yes.
Yeah. Broncos by that was exactly.
Broncos by...
Rabbits don't have enough men back.
No,
yet.
I don't know that they've got anyone. Although Josh Schuster apparently was playing well in Reggie's, so imagine if he got a call.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes, Broncos for me as well. Raiders and Bulldogs. This is a game, man. Down
First v second.
in
Yeah.
Canberra, it's the 3:00 game on Saturday. What a rip-off.
What is it, 1992 or something?
You wouldn't have thought pre-season when they set the draw though
All right,
that this would have been second hosting
yeah,
first.
fair enough. Thoughts?
All right, I think Sunday would have been massive high for the Raiders. I'm going to take the Raiders.
Can I just tell you quickly? Raiders $1.73, Bulldogs $2.12.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's value.
That's home. I think that's home ground advantage. That's what
Gotta
it
be
is.
it.
I think the cold weather must have
The
kicked
Bulldogs have many outs.
in. Yeah. Preston's out
Preston,
for 4
that's
games,
right.
got suspended. So that's added to their woes.
Oh, that's their one try scorer.
Well, Kiraz scored 3 last week.
True.
He's looking good.
All right. What did you go, Dave?
Far out. That's tricky. I'll go always go the home team if in doubt. So the Raiders, please.
Yeah, I am too. We all did it last week and it worked for us. Saints and Wars at Wynn Stadium in the beautiful Wollongong region.
Don't see myself picking the Dragons again after last week for a while. Warriors, please.
Yeah, I'll also take the Wars, and I'll take the Wars by 1-12.
I'm going to take the Dragons, fellas. I think the Wars, they were very resilient, but, the Cowboys nearly got them and were down at Wollongong, which,
Yeah, I hear
Here's
you.
my bet. Warriors to win and try scorer other, which would be Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, who's in the extended bench.
Ooh, that's not bad.
Interesting.
Cowboys and Panthers, up in FNQ.
To'o is back. Mitch Kenny is back. Are the Panthers back?
Well, we're about to find out because I'm going to pick them.
I'm going to pick them and hope that they are back in some form.
I'm
at
going
least.
to pick them as well. All right, Melbourne and Tigers. Poor old Tigers are sitting in 8th place and they're $5.10 up against Melbourne's $1.17. That's outrageous.
That's the Bellamy effect, right?
Hang on, is Harry Grant back?
Nope. I'm picking the Tigers.
I'm going to pick whatever the start is for the Tigers. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
That was my thoughts as well. I'll take the Tigers with the start.
Yeah. All right, and Eagles and Sharks at 4 points.
All right, this is the 84th game away for the Sharks. And
Yeah.
I think we're in pretty good nick for playing, 2 games at home already? I think that's about it.
Yeah.
At least the commute's not a massive one this
No,
time.
yeah.
Not Perth.
Makes sense of this, though.
Perth, Las Vegas.
Makes sense of this. $1.64 Manly, $2.27 Sharks.
Look, I'm going to take the
It's-
Sharks just for the value bet there.
Yeah.
I know we're not doing anything about odds, but in a 2-horse race, I'll take the Sharks.
Yeah. I'm going to go Sharks as well. I feel very ordinary after my pessimism last week, so that's out the window. I'm all in.
Yeah, Sharks. Building for Origin.
And that's your look at LOYG for this week. Thank you, everybody. What do you think of our Origin teams? Let us know on the socials, in the Tepid Takes Facebook group even, where our picks Tepid Takes themselves. Have an NRL of a time, and thank you, fellas.
Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
boys.
This is an Angry Chimp podcast.